certainly didn't set out to do amazing research. I just more or less found myself doing things. And so with the anatomical work, I was not a very successful applicant for surgical training. So I ended up having to study for my first part several times. Anyway, this gave me a lot of exposure to anatomy texts, probably more than I wanted back then. Very expensive as well. But every time I'd get to the pelvic anatomy section, I'd get quite upset because they talked about genital anatomy in females. And there is a kind of societal cliche that women are reproductive and men are sexual, and that didn't gel with my worldview. And I was incensed at the lack of anatomical information about the clitoris in particular, that it was omitted. I thought this had to be social rather than scientific. And then the more I looked into it while I was doing a master's degree, the more global it appeared to be. And then I discovered interesting things like that anatomical structures which had been present in textbooks at the turn of the century were actively deleted in the 30s and 40s, and only to return to their named structures in the 70s. So it is interesting. We think of knowledge as, well, I did early on believe that knowledge was very comprehensive and that it was scientific and logical, but I discovered that it's none of those things often. And, so it was sort of an interesting journey of how is knowledge developed, therefore what can one do to influence the development of knowledge. And so I guess I've always been interested in big picture as well as detail, and so I found myself addressing something that really did prove to be a significant omission in scientific endeavour.